it's going to be the Spurs off the tip. Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. On the court for San Antonio, the always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Aldridge out there with Duncan, and it's Leonard in at the 3 slot. Now here's Rose. Gasol passes to Rose. Got that one up quick. Rose has got the first points up on the board for Chicago.
Derrick Rose possesses a great skill set, ball handling, passing, and understanding of how to score. First rookie to ever win the All-Star Weekend Skills Challenge.
So at Chicago now, Parker with the steal. Outside, Green. Here's Aldridge. Offline with his 3.
Outstanding perimeter defense there. That was a well-contested shot.
Yeah, and you know he takes a lot of pride in his defense. There are no easy threes if he's on you.
Now here's Rose. They get a hand on it. In transition, here comes San Antonio. Green with the ball. Aldridge against Butler. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle on a lot of contact there. Tim Duncan picks one up.
You know, Jimmy Butler's one of those guys who had to overcome major odds just to get to the NBA. Reportedly, his father abandoned the family when Jimmy was an infant. Mom kicked Jimmy out when he was 13. The obstacles and adversity go on, yet he's made it and made it big.
Good on the second free throw. And going back to Jimmy Butler, there were just so many times when he was set up to fail. He was not heavily recruited out of high school. He was even homeless when he was in high school in the Houston area. Went to a junior college, then Marquette, now in the NBA. So he played his freshman year at a junior college, which I think humbled him just a bit, but maybe gave him that work ethic that is so much a part of his game now.
And Kevin, the talent was there, and most of all, as we see how he dealt with adversity, the heart was there. He blocked out the distractions, and finally transferred to a major college and worked his way into becoming a first-round pick.
They've had a cold start so far, just 1 of 5 from the floor here early.
San Antonio's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Parker with it, and Rose picks him up defensively. The drive by Duncan. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Tell you what, he's not an easy guy to stop when he's got his sight on the rim.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
Did he just go chop there with that one-hand tomahawk slam? That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Here's Parker. The lead pass was put in just the right spot.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
And it's Butler missing.
I tell you what, folks. I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
And Parker gets it to go. The assist from Duncan. Parker's got his second basket of the night.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low. And I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation. But, boy, I tell you what. But he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
Aldridge dishes to Leonard. The drive by Green, laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Green's got his first basket of the night.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Miritic's shot is off.
And it's just hard to imagine the Spurs without Coach Popovich on the sidelines. He's the longest tenured coach in the NBA and has done so much for this team. Easily one of the best coaches in the history of our league.
The entire defense was frozen-footed. Nobody picked up the shooter, Kevin.
Snell kicks to Butler. Releases from the wing and drills it.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
That's a 2 from Parker, and they cash it. Right away with the quick shot. Parker's got 6. Bulls trail by 7. Butler kicks to Snell. He dishes it to Gasol. Bulls moving the ball around. Butler passes to Snell. Three-pointer. It's rebounded by Aldridge.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide-open opportunities.
For 3, and it's good on the assist by Parker.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Giving up too many open shots. I mean, that's what's happening here, Greg. They look to me to be a bit sluggish.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. And for LaMarcus Aldridge, always praised for his terrific shooting. His rebounding, as we know, Greg, has always been fantastic. Over the past 2 seasons, he's averaged double-digit points.
And that's why so many teams wanted him in this last free agency period. His ability to put points on the board as well as clean the boards. What a deadly combination.
Mills. And another basket for San Antonio.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
Greg, you're exactly right. I mean, everything seems to be dropping. Impressive scoring here.
Rejected by Ginobili. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. .54 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's McDermott.
And they've done a nice job controlling the defensive backboard to start this game.
Not one second chance bucket allowed. That is finishing off good defense. Defender there in the neighborhood, but not quite close enough. Good shot. You know, on the topic of Aldridge's rebounding, I mean, he doesn't do it by banging people around. He does it with positioning, timing, and length. And you can say that about most of his game. Quietly, effective, and impactful.
They get the rebound. Gibson. Diaw with the steal. Now here's Mills. He has 5. And Kirk Heinrich picks up the foul. There's 18 seconds left here in the opening quarter. And Diaw kicks it to West. And that one is stuffed right through.
And a huge lead here early to start.
Well, you know, right from the tip, there's not anything they haven't done well so far.
Heinrich outside. Pulls up. High post. And as the first quarter wraps up, already a double-digit lead. It's the Spurs up by 12. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And the ageless one, Tim Duncan, just a remarkable career. His teammate Tony Parker talked about playing alongside truly one of the all-time great players. It's both unbelievable and amazing, you'd have to agree, talking about Tim Duncan and how he, Greg, continues to stay near the top of his game.
You know, Kevin, they say nobody has ever defeated Father Time. But you know what? There have been a couple bigs that you'd have to say are the exceptions. Kareem being one, and then obviously now what Tim Duncan has been able to do over the course of his career. Just unbelievable.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for San Antonio?
Guys, their penetration has been outstanding. I mean, it's actually been great. They're really finding those holes in the defense.
Yeah, they're showing some muscle also in the first half as well, and getting a lot of their points in the paint. Really like the balance they've shown.
The big men are Gibson and Noah. Butler and McDermott filling out the perimeter. And it's Heinrich in at the 1 spot. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter. For a while, the Spurs were viewed as a slow-it-down team from their championships almost a decade ago. That isn't the case at all anymore.
You know, I think it took the viewing public quite a while to catch on, though, Kevin, because now most people look at the Spurs as one of the more exciting brands of basketball in our league. Just watching one game of them, and now you know that is the case.
Rose, he's checked in for Kirk Heinrich. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Duncan, he's checked in for West. Aldridge comes in for Boris Diaw. Leonard, he's checked in for Kyle Anderson. And Parker's subbed in for Patty Mills. Mirotic is checked in for Taj Gibson. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Daniel Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Aldridge, top of the key. And there's the foul. It'll go on Nikola Mirotic. That's his first foul.
You know, for the Spurs playing up-tempo, I mean, they made that adjustment several years back, to their credit. Since then, they've been one of the more up-tempo and offensive-minded teams in the league.
Now Butler. Kawhi Leonard missing from long range.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
Clearly a foul. I mean, didn't give him any choice but to blow the whistle. I mean, you got to play without fouling.
The Bulls have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. And so Butler nails both of them. Spurs leading by 9. Parker kicks to Leonard. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Leonard's got his first points in this one.
And some stats to kind of back up the Spurs playing that up-tempo style. They led the league last year in distance traveled as a team. Their players would cover almost 18 miles per game play. That tells you there's tremendous ball movement, but more importantly, body movement.
Pau Gasol is checked in for Chicago. Butler dishes to McDermott. Back to Butler. To the right side. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Rose. It's good for his second make. He's made 2 of 3 so far.
They started the game off tortoise-like, but their offense coming to life.
Yeah, they've got a little bit more pep in their step as they start to put together some rhythm.
Duncan, the pass to Green. There's the dish to Parker. It's stolen by Rose. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. 6 points for Rose.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Now here's Leonard. Parker outside. Back to Leonard. 5 to shoot. The wide open look here for Aldridge. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Aldridge has got 6.
Those are starting to add up. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 of them have been three-pointers.
And clearly it's about how poorly the defense has played. They've got to close out faster.
And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession. The Bulls making a switch here. Snell's checked in.
Yeah, saw some things that just weren't working for them and wants to make some adjustments.
Yeah, and no reason to wait around to do that, Greg. I mean, might as well make those adjustments right away.
And San Antonio calls the first time out of the game. For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
And here's Green outside, and he gets it to go. Green's got the lead up to 13 now for San Antonio.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That is a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yeah, he's on the money, that's no doubt. Parker kicks to Green. He dishes it to Duncan. Outside Leonard fires the three. Derrick Rose grabs the miss.
And he's trying to shoot his way out of it. You know, they have the lead, but honestly, I think it might help if he'd be a little bit more selective tonight.
McDermott kicks to Gasol. The kick out to Rose. Out to the right wing. Mirotic. Passes to Snell. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
Not doing them any favors with those kinds of errors.
Especially now, Greg, with every possession being so crucial.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Taj Gibson's checked in for Mirotic. Etuan Moore comes in for Tony Snell. And it's Heinrich in for Derrick Rose. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. West is checked in for Duncan. Kyle Anderson comes in for Kawhi Leonard. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Green. And it's Mills in for Parker. 1:51 left in the second quarter. Here's West. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
And Clark, it's a strategy that has served them well during the course of this first half.
You know, I think anytime the shot comes from that range, the offense has done its job and done it well. And, you know, guys, Taj Gibson now has 6 full seasons in the NBA, already 30 years old. Seems like just yesterday he was being drafted.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Ginobili with the ball. He's picked up by Heinrich.
Yeah, baby. Ruby. Jump ball.
San Antonio with the ball. It's Ginobili on the wing. Beyond the arc. The shot's good on the assist by West. And the Spurs lead by 16. Getting back to Gibson, he was one of the oldest college freshmen in the country at age 21. Played 3 years at USC. Then he was one of the oldest players in the 2009 draft, even though he declared as a junior.
Yeah, I think the NBA is the only profession where it hurts you to have a lot of experience coming out, you know, because that's one reason why he did drop. I mean, had he been a couple years younger, with his length and athleticism, he very well could have been a top 10 pick. But I tell you what, the Bulls are happy that he wasn't. And for David West last season, the thought was he might increase his production with Paul George out, but the opposite happened. West suffered his lowest scoring output in a decade, only 12 points per game on 47% shooting. Rough showing for the former All-Star.
And the Bulls making a change here. Noah's checked in. And San Antonio also making a switch. Diaw's checked in.
Whoa. That'll wake you up. My goodness.
Is he an athlete or what?
No doubt about it. It's almost as if he lives in the air, and dunks like that have become quite commonplace.
Bulls trail by 17. Diaw with the steal. Moore with the steal. Oh, here comes Heinrich all alone. That's good. Heinrich's got his second bucket.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, nice job there, Greg. Recognizing the opportunity was there to push it, and then excellent execution.
Ginobili gets a wide open look. Had the space there, but it's offline. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
Okay, fans, now coming to the court are your level Bulls. Make some noise and cheer them on. Pau Gasol. Nikola Mirotic. Derrick Rose.
And we finished one half of...
Thanks, Kevin. Coach.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. It's San Antonio out on top at halftime. They lead by 15. Starting with Kenny, your take.
Well, it comes down to confidence.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is...
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters.
So far in the game for Mills, he has 11 points, and he's got 9 points from behind. Behind the arc.
And that's been an important part of the game today. It's really spacing.
Whoa! Woo. The one-hand slam is so sweet when it's his hand doing the slam.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Really, that's what makes him unique, that combination of power and polish.
Oh, we just saw courtesy of Kia.
You know, you take a look at this group of Spurs and you wonder if they've peaked. I mean, it seems you say that a lot with this team, and they prove you wrong. But Popovich said last year he feels it might actually be the case.
Yeah, the defender all over him.
Greg, he got him good there. I mean, that's why the shot was so far off.
You know, one thing about this San Antonio team, they just didn't go away last year. Pop himself said he felt they peaked in the 2014 finals.
You know, and you wonder if what Pop said is true. Spurs lost in the first round last year, and they'll be going through a lot of changes in the near future. And with the way they run that organization, they'll still be competing, I believe, for quite some time.
And he sinks the second.
And injuries, once again, were a central theme of the Bulls' season last year. Losing Rose was one thing, but then having Jimmy Butler lose a lot of time put them in such a tough spot. And he could be the guy to put this game out of reach.
Butler with the ball. Now Green defending. Oh! That's...
Kevin is a queer.
It's not as easy as he made it look, guys. You've got to have some skills to pull that baby off.
Well, he's got plenty of those skills necessary.
And you know what?
Man.
That man can climb a ladder.
Butler kicks to Gasol. The pass to Mirotic. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Gasol's got 3 assists in the game.
And you could see he just caught a glimpse of the open man on the perimeter and immediately got him the basketball.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
And the Spurs
Roberto
last season
sucks
became the
balls.
first franchise to hire a female assistant coach. A big step, not just for the Spurs, but really for all of the NBA.
Chicago making some changes. Gibson comes in for Pau Gasol. And it's Doug McDermott in for Tony Snell. Parker with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Duncan dishes to Aldridge. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Mirotic just got 4 rebounds in this game. Well, Greg was talking about the assistant that was hired was Becky Hammond, a phenomenal player for a very long time in the WNBA. And Clark, you know, you and I were talking about this before. She was a perfect candidate to become the first full-time female assistant.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it might not seem like that big a deal to some, but this was a big-time barrier breaker that the Spurs pulled off.
The drive by Green. Aldridge kicks to Leonard. Fires the 3. Rebound by the Bulls.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him, but luckily his teammates have picked up the slack.
And it's sent back by Aldridge. Gibson passes to Mirotic. And Rose wide open. He shoots. Drains it from 17 feet out. Rose has got 8.
Well, he certainly isn't the one to blame for them being in the hole. He's been on the money with his game.
Inside. Here's Aldridge. That one's off. Still out of sync. Bulls trail by 10. On up the court. Rose, no good.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. Joakim Noah's checked in for Chicago. Heinrich comes in for Rose. The Spurs also with the sub. Ginobili's checked in. And guys, Tim Duncan still dominant after 18 years. You know, he's reshaped his body. He has gotten a brand new diet, which he says has had a huge benefit. We saw in the playoffs last year, Greg, I think, you know, he probably was one of the top 5 overall performers in last year's playoffs.
No doubt about it. We continue to write this guy off, Kevin, and he just continues to defy Father Time. I mean, there was a point where he was starting to feel the wear and tear, especially in his knees, but being the competitor he is, he decided to dictate to his body rather than letting his body dictate to him.
And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. Ejuan Moore, he's checked in for Chicago. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. West is checked in for Duncan. Diaw comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for Leonard. And it's Mills in for Parker. 2 on the clock. Once again off the mark by San Antonio.
You know, getting back to Duncan, when you talk to his teammates, they'll tell you he's disciplined. He maintains a strict diet, does off-the-floor training, from boxing to swimming, throwing tires, running in the sand. That keeps him motivated and engaged.
Here's Chicago. It's been 8 unanswered points for him. McDermott can't get it to go.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
Heinrich kicks it to Noah. Here's McDermott. And the lead is down inside single digits. McDermott's got 7 points.
In talking about Duncan's new look, Coach Popovich had an interesting quote. Pop said, I look at him and tell him, you look like Sprewell used to look. Just skin and bones, ligaments and tendons. But you know what? You can't argue with success, and not many people have had more than Tim Duncan. And you really got to admire Boris Diaw. I mean, he's found a way to kind of reform his game as he's gotten older. I mean, so different than when he was new to the league.
Tony Snell's checked in for Doug McDermott. Diaw lost his athleticism and is a slower player than before. You could argue he's more productive now, though, Clark, than ever.
Well, his game was always on the ground in my mind. He's highly skilled. He's much more cerebral on the floor than given credit. I mean, I think he is really a difficult matchup because he's crafty, he's tough, and he's experienced and skilled.
And although not a block officially, it might as well have been his ability to react and alter the shot.
Greg, I don't think there was any doubt about it. His defense threw him off on that shot.
Oh, and a fast break for the Bulls. Heinrich with it. West picks him up. Moore outside. Right side Gibson. Ginobili with the steal. Oh, and here comes Anderson all alone. Rips down the breakaway slam.
What a pass by the fearless Manu Ginobili. Great teamwork.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it. Al Gasol is checked in for Taj Gibson.
Al Gasol.
Hey.
And San Antonio has possession. Now Mills. He's got 11. The feed now to Ginobili. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Mirotic is checked in for Noah. Doug McDermott comes in for Tony Snell. And it's Jimmy Butler coming in for Moore. Butler kicks to Heinrich. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Heinrich's got 7. Here's Mills. He's got 13. And here's Anderson for 3. And down it goes just as the clock hit 0.
How about the timing? An unbelievable touch on that one.
Those are the ingredients you need for the recipe of buzzer-beating magic.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the 4th. San Antonio leading by 16. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Mirotic out there with Doug McDermott. And it's Gasol in at the 5 spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Such a wide open look. 14 points for Butler.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
And here we go. The Bulls fast break. Oh!
Yeah. Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend.
Oh,
take it to the hoop.
And how, Clark. Brilliant throwdown.
Just exerting his authority on that play. And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
1 minute now into this 4th quarter. Dishes at the Rose. And Mirotic kicks to Rose. Back to Mirotic. Tipped away. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the basket by Rose.
No doubt about it. He has done a ton to help his team, but he's going to have to do even more if they want to have a chance to get back in this one.
Parker kicks to Green. Back to Parker. Leonard against Butler. Baseline jumper. Leonard, no luck.
The defense needs to play tight on him, and that's exactly what they did to force that miss. Well done.
Outside Butler. Pass to Mirotic. Fires from deep. Gasol kicks to McDermott. Butler dishes to McDermott. Second chance shot. Pass to Mirotic. He feeds it to Rose. Back to Mirotic. Another shot. San Antonio with the rebound. One-on-one fast break. Here's Leonard, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here. He shattered the backboard.
Spurs leading by 10. Parker outside. Feeds to Aldridge. Parker kicks to Green. There's the three. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got his 4th assist in this one.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Kicks to Rose. He dishes it to Butler. Mirotic passes to McDermott. Another three for Chicago.
These defenders had better start closing out on those shooters.
That's 2 in a row, and we call that a streak.
Leonard dishes to Parker. Fires from the corner. Again, the Spurs good for 2.
And look at how quick he was to bite on the pump fake. Left his feet way too soon.
And, of course, Tony Parker, so big for San Antonio in those championship.
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Spread the floor.
Spurs coach Greg Popovich
Spacing.
didn't always go
Spacing.
easy on Tony. He really pushed him to the limit.
You know, it started back when Tony was invited to the Spurs summer camp before the 2001 draft. One of the scouts was really physical with Tony, really gave him a hard time, and that was really the start of his maturation process in learning to deal with the NBA.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Chicago's coach was going over with his team. He didn't exactly take it easy on them, saying, how much do you want it? Don't tell me, show me out there. We have to play better. We have to play harder if we're going to come back. Guys?
Duncan kicks to Leonard. It's Ginobili on the wing. He's covered by Rose. Leonard, the pass to Aldridge. And Butler, here we go. Boom, he jams it straight down.
A splendid pass that time by Rose.
Spurs leading by 6.
And, you know, getting back to Popovich's relationship with Tony Parker, Pop made the decision to draft Parker. So he obviously saw something. But Pop's a perfectionist, and if you're going to play point guard for him, you've got to deliver consistently.
Here's Aldridge. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And talking about Tony Parker, Pop's tough love with him really paid off. Tony eventually became incredibly consistent, culminating with him being named the Finals MVP back in 07.
Rose, no good.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
There's 53 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Gasol on the high post. Yes! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
I love how he establishes his post position inside before he converts.
It's Parker with the drive. Butler with the steal. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Gasol. San Antonio calls timeout. They're up by 5. 36 seconds left in the 4th. Chicago making some changes. Bairstow, he's checked in for Gasol. McDermott comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Heinrich in for Tony Snell. The drive by Green. It's blocked.
Gotta score quickly.
Yeah, no time to waste here, partner.
And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That's his first foul. Diao with the steal.
Yeah, you've got to avoid those kinds of turnovers.
Yeah, mistakes like that derail any team.
It's the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And he is unable to get the second one. And it's the Bulls with the ball. Butler from outside. Green with the rebound. And Clark, they've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, I think so. Too cool. I mean, just not forceful enough, not alert or aggressive enough, and sometimes trying to do too much with the basketball.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that.
Chicago calls timeout.
Spread the floor.
By 9. There's 10 seconds left to play in the final quarter. What's your take, guys?
You know, I think he's just trying to send his team a message, not willing to give up on this game just yet. Just trying to instill that fight in this group.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for giving messages and teaching lessons, and I respect that, but at some point, if it's over, it's over. I mean, you need to be looking at the next one. This one's done. Forget about it. Let's move on.
And here's Mills for 3. The shot will not go. Chicago calls timeout. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, they can call all the timeouts they want, but really, I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah, I'm ready to go home just like the players are. There's nothing they can do to salvage this one right now. Let's go. Get out of here. Game done.
Yep. You summed it up.
I was going to say, yeah, I don't think we need to comment after that.
Adios. Butler from outside. No good. And so it's San Antonio with the win. A narrow win under difficult circumstances, Greg, as the visiting team.
It really was, but that didn't seem to bother them. I mean, road team, home team, all I know is they were the better team.
Well said. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
David, obviously